Tired of running through the ruins of Boletaria, Lordran, and Yharnam for your hardcore action game fix? Why not try Warring States era Japan? Nioh is one of the first hit original video games of 2017, and we've got the goods on everything from shocking but real uses for a cat to surprising historical inspirations. Whether you're a lowly yokai hunter or the next Hattori Hanzo, we've got something for everyone as we count down 107 facts about Nioh. I'm Joey from the Leaderboard, now let's get started. Fact number 1. Nioh is a Japanese historical fantasy action game for the Sony PlayStation 4. It's a Koei Tecmo title and was released in February 2017. Number 2. Right now I bet you have a few questions. The first one is, what does Nioh mean? The literal translation of the kanji means benevolent kings, which refers to a duo of guardians for Buddha and Japanese Buddhist temple gates. They are gods that protect against evil spirits and represent life and death. Number 3. Didn't this game get announced in 2006? You're thinking of Nioh, the original concept reveal that had a key visual and nothing else really. It was slated for the PlayStation 3 back then. Number 4. But if you want to jump really far back in time, the first seeds of Nioh's creation were planted back in 2004 when it was attached to a multimedia project inspired by an unfinished Akira Kurosawa manuscript called Oni, with a film slated to be directed by his son, Hisao Kurosawa. And yes, that's the same Akira Kurosawa who was behind Seven Samurai, Rashomon, The Hidden Fortress, and other classic Japanese films. Number 5. So considering that there's no Nioh film tie-in alongside the game, that whole media project initiative kinda didn't work out. However, the core fundamentals of the project, a blonde samurai protagonist and the Warring States period, survived in the final product that we now play. Number 6. If you booted up this game and wondered who or what Shibusawa Ko is, that's the brand name for Koei's series of historical simulation games, like Nobunaga's Ambition and Romance of the Three Kingdoms, though I don't think yokai were actually running amok in Warring States era Japan. But hey, we weren't there, what do we know? Number 7. Shibusawa Ko isn't just a brand name, it's also the pen name of Yoichi Erikawa, one of the 2 co-founders of Koei before they merged with Tecmo. The other co-founder, Keiko Erikawa, his wife. Talk about a power couple. Number 8. Shibusawa Ko isn't just a higher-up who watches the company from afar. He keeps up to date on current games in the industry, oversees development of the games that Koei Tecmo develops, and he's been a recurring producer of Koei's games as well. He's in his 60s and he can still take on games like Bloodborne. Number 9. With Shibusawa Ko as one of the producers for Nioh, who is the other producer? None other than Hisashi Koinuma, the chief operating officer and president of Koei Tecmo. Like Ko, Hisashi loves games deep down, beginning his career at Koei because of his love of Koei's games like Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Number 10. So if Nioh was just a concept in the early 2000s, who started the road to execution? Think the Koei Tecmo merger, when Shibusawa Ko handed the reins to Team Ninja to differentiate the core action gameplay from Dynasty Warriors. But then the second iteration was too much like Ninja Gaiden, so they kept on tinkering with it until 2015 when the game was formally unveiled once again. Number 11. One of the directors of Nioh is Fumihiko Yasuda, who cut his teeth, so to speak, on the later games of the Ninja Gaiden series, designing levels for Ninja Gaiden 2, and then directing Ninja Gaiden 3 and Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z. Yeah, I know, but hey, gotta start somewhere. Number 12. The other director of Nioh? That would be Yosuke Hayashi, who's also the current head of Team Ninja. He previously directed the DS title Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword, and the Ninja Gaiden games kinda didn't stop him there. Number 13. The epic soundtrack of Nioh is thanks to composer Yugo Kanno, whose work you can also hear in Birdie the Mighty Decode, the 3rd and 4th anime adaptations of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and loads of films and other anime. His only other game soundtrack credit is for the PlayStation 3 game, Rain. Number 14. So who do you actually play as? Well, your player character is William, an Irish-born British platinum blonde sailor and swordsman who travels from afar into Japan in order to save someone close to him and stop a villainous alchemist from plunging Japan into chaos. Number 15. I know what you're thinking, it's Matt Damon in that Great Wall movie all over again! But actually, William is based on William Adams, a British sailor who was one of the first Western foreigners to arrive at Japan and who eventually trained to become a samurai. Number 16. But wait, you say, Nioh's William is Irish, not British. Well, that's a creative deviation that was made by the developers, because according to them, the Irish have a culture that involves spirits, and William being able to perceive yokai and other supernatural phenomena was crucial to the game's premise. Number 17. William's voice is provided by Ben Peel, who you can see in the films Hunger, Antisocial, and the TV shows The Fall, 6 Degrees, and Class. Nioh is his first video game performance. Number 18. William actually begins the game with a guardian spirit named Saoirse, which is Gaelic for freedom. She's been with William for most, if not all, of his life, but she gets stolen away by dark forces and sets William off on his journey that leads him to Japan. Number 19. The antagonist of Nioh is Edward Kelly, an English alchemist who can manipulate Amrita to turn humans into monsters and reanimate the dead. He travels to Japan to fan the flames of war and ultimately plunder the country's Amrita for himself and his mysterious employer. Number 20. Edward Kelly is also inspired by the real-life Edward Kelly, an occult worker during the 16th century who, among many other things, dabbled in alchemy and created an Enochian language for apocryphal angels. I'm pretty sure that real-life Edward Kelly wasn't bald or resurrecting the dead, but again, we weren't there back then. Number 21. Kelly's got a guardian spirit of his own too, the serpentine Ouroboros, named after the snake eating its own tail. But wait, why did he steal Saoirse from William? Well, Saoirse has the unique ability to detect Amrita, which Kelly needs, while Ouroboros kinda sorta just steals other guardian spirits. Not great for finding Amrita. Number 22. Edward Kelly's voice actor is Nicholas Bolton, who you can hear in other games like Dragon Age 2, Final Fantasy XIV Online, and the upcoming Mass Effect Andromeda. Number 23. Kelly also has a Japanese voice actor, for when he's speaking telepathic Japanese to his foes. His Japanese voice is provided by Hiroyuki Kinoshita, who among other villainous roles, provided the Japanese dub for Two-Face from Batman and Ultron in the Avengers film. Number 24. William doesn't take on malevolent yokai or opposing samurai alone. His first ally is Hattori Hanzo, the legendary ninja who fights in the service of Ieyasu Tokugawa. Hanzo can teach ninjutsu and how to wield ninja weapons alongside the player's samurai weapons. Number 25. Hattori Hanzo's voice actor is Toshiyuki Morikawa, who has some experience voicing ninja, most notably as Minato Namikaze from Naruto. He's also been Naraku from Inuyasha, Mitsurugi from the Soul Calibur series, and the one-winged angel himself, Sephiroth. Number 26. Yes, you were not freaking out. Hattori Hanzo just pulled a cat out from under his ninja gi to check the time. It's an actual real-life ninja technique to judge the time of day by looking at the eyes of a cat. Who needs a watch? Number 27. And the cat speaks! But actually, that's a feline yokai called a Nekomata. In the absence of Saoirse, Nekomata hangs around with William to give some commentary on the state of Japan, while also enabling William to communicate with his Japanese compatriots. Number 28. William's other close ally in the fight against Kelly is a young ninja woman, or kunoichi, named Okatsu. Okatsu is actually an original character from Koei's Kessen series, though loosely inspired by one of Ieyasu Tokugawa's concubines. Not even the original characters can get away from being inspired by real people in history. Number 29. Okatsu's voice and likeness are provided by Japanese actress Emi Takei. She's been in many Japanese movies and TV shows, and audiences outside Japan will most recognize her as Kamiya Kaoru in the live-action Rurouni Kenshin film trilogy. Number 30. On top of Japanese weapons combat and ninjutsu, William can also learn Onmyodo magic in order to bless his weapons with elemental power, or buff his stats or debuff his enemies. William walks this path thanks to a training Onmyoji named Fuku, as well as her master, the mysterious Tenkai. Number 31. As Nioh takes place in the final stages of the Warring States period of Japan, William sees himself fighting alongside the forces of Ieyasu Tokugawa, while Kelly empowers Ishida Mitsunari and his men with Amrita alchemy and various yokai. Number 32. Ieyasu Tokugawa also has his voice and likeness provided by the same actor, this time by Masachika Ishimura, a prolific actor on stage and multiple screens, whether game or movie. He's recognized internationally as Mewtwo in the Japanese dub of Pokemon, as well as the Smash Bros. Games, Red 13 from Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, all of his one spoken line, and he's also the Japanese voice for Jack Skellington from The Night Before Christmas. Number 33. Ishida Mitsunari's voice actor is Takahiro Sakurai, who anime and game fans will immediately recognize as Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, Suzaku from Code Geass, Tentomon from Digimon Adventure, Polar Bear from Polar Bear Cafe, Noboru Taki-sensei from Sound Euphonium, and so much more. Number 34. So how does Nioh actually play? Imagine a game like Dark Souls, but instead of the option to hunker behind your big shield, you have the ruthless action of weapons-based games like Ninja Gaiden and Devil May Cry to respond in kind to the ruthless enemies of the world. Also Diablo-style loot drops for all your weapons and gear. Number 35. You have 3 modes of attack when it comes to your weapons combat in Nioh: high stance, mid stance, and low stance. High stance is the most powerful moveset at the expense of defense and evasion. Mid stance is the neutral ground with even capabilities of defense and offense. And low stance has the swiftest attack and defense opportunities at the expense of sheer power. Each stance discipline also has its own unique moves depending on your weapon. Number 36. You have to keep an eye on your stamina or ki in combat with enemies, lest you open yourself up to a swift demise. The thing is, enemies also have limited ki, and you can use the variations in your moveset like a kick in the middle of sword slashes or even Onmyo magic to offset your enemy's ki and get an opening to press your advantage. Number 37. Here's a neat twist. If you time an R1 button press just right after an attack chain, you can instantly kickstart your ki gauge's generation. This is called a ki pulse. And yes, Team Ninja introduced a Gears of War style active reload to a Souls-like game. Number 38. How's this for another neat twist? If you complete a mission with human enemies still living, they'll actually surrender to you. Yokai, on the other hand, will just vanish. Number 39. Enemy yokai have their own twist on the ki pulse, the yokai realm. Certain attacks from a yokai will generate a monochrome field effect on the environment that will slow if not stop your ki gauge and regenerate their own. The only solution to combat the emergence of a yokai realm, however, is the ki pulse itself, which will disperse a yokai realm to great effect. Number 40. So what kind of weapons can you wield as William? You've got a katana, 2 katanas, a spear, an axe, or a hammer that functions the same way as an axe, and a kusarigama, which is a sickle with a chain and iron weight on its end. Number 41. You've also got sub-weapons, which consist of a matchlock gun, a hand cannon that you wield with 2 hands, and the classic standby, a bow and arrow. You'd be surprised how effective these weapons can be in your arsenal. Number 42. Without a shield to equip, the best defense on your disposal is a good offense. A better defense than even that is to learn your enemy's tells and to maneuver around them or parry their incoming attacks. The parry moves look awesome too, on top of being totally deadly. Number 43. If you look at the skill trees for all the weapons, you can see that the number of moves outstrips the button maps that you're allowed. That's because you can customize the moves per button map and skill customization to fit your playstyle. You can even quick swap your weapons and weapon stances in the middle of your combos and using a ki pulse. Number 44. There's no move cooler than a barehanded blade block. And not only is that move totally doable in Nioh, in one swift move, you can even bring that blade right back into your enemy's gut. Brutal. Number 45. You know what move is as cool as a barehanded blade block? The EI quick draw, where you draw your katana to attack right out of its sheath. You can do that, no problem. And many moves in Nioh even work around the EI technique. Number 46. Every samurai needs a blacksmith to see to their weapons and armor. Luckily, Senji Tomei is up to the task. She can sell and buy items from the player, provide various services for weapons and armor, and even give the player a shave or a haircut. Number 47. If that surname Senji sounds familiar, then either A, you really know your Japanese culture, or B, you're a big fan of Ninja Gaiden, because Senji Muramasa is not only Tomei's grandfather, he appears in both the Ninja Gaiden games and in Nioh to help tend to the player's weapons. Even his character design is the same. Either that's a fun time paradox, or he's several centuries old in the Ninja Gaiden games. Well, both are possible in fiction. Number 48. Did I say Diablo-style loot earlier? Why yes, I did. You can acquire the needed texts and materials to have items forged. But of course, the more practical method of acquiring weapon and armor sets by beating the snot out of certain bosses is ever present. The drops come in varying rarity, from common to one of a kind. You can even get divine weapons in the post-game. Number 49. Do you finally have a matching set of armor with the right set boosts, but the stats are all over the place? The blacksmiths can help you boost the levels of your gear up with soul matching, which takes a higher level item and compatible skills and then elevates your gear of choice, provided you have the coin, of course. Number 50. What if you just want the matching armor set's look and want it applied to your better gear that makes you look like a fashion-blind samurai? Well, blacksmiths got you covered too, with the refashioning service, where they can change the appearance of your weapon or armor to whichever one you own and desire. Number 51. William and the key players of the plot of Nioh all have ethereal companions known as guardian spirits. While William's Saoirse resembles the mermaid-like Mero of Celtic legend, the other guardian spirits come in various forms to reflect Japanese legends, like the river dragon, Mizuchi, the phoenix-like Suzaku of the south, and of course, the moon hare called Gyokuto. Number 52. You don't have to fight the forces of evil alone. Some missions have you fighting alongside fellow warriors as AI partners, like the mission where Ginchio Tachibana takes up the katana, suits up, and joins you to search for her missing husband, Muneshige Tachibana. Again, talk about power couples. Even their Raiken guardian spirits are a matching pair of lightning dogs. Number 53. In Demon's Souls and the Dark Souls games, you collect souls to eventually level up. Here in Nioh, you're actually accumulating Amrita. At least you're not overdosing on it like Kelly does with his yokai experiments. Number 54. When William dies, his collected Amrita is dropped off at his place of death, and quite fittingly, his guardian spirit keeps watch there to wait for you to retrieve it and the Amrita. What a big help, huh? Number 55. But what if I told you that your guardian spirit can be one of your biggest weapons? While you collect Amrita, you charge up your guardian spirit, and with the full charge, you can trigger the living weapon. The living weapon enhances your weapon with the guardian spirit's innate element and makes your health and stamina invincible. The only catch is that enemy attacks that connect actually deplete the living weapon gauge, so stay mindful of your tactics while you decimate your enemy. Number 56. If you ever need a refresher on combat mechanics, or you get the opportunity to open new paths to ninjutsu or onmyodo, you've got the dojo dojo. You can also get unique challenges from legendary swordsmen like Marume Nagayoshi, and winning can help you learn new moves. Number 57. In a break from Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne's long interconnected environments, Nioh has individual environments with start and end points for each story mission and submission. One wonders why the change, but then they would probably have to render all of Warring States Japan in the game. Number 58. William's search for Saoirse and Kelly takes him through 6 regions of Japan as the Warring States era rages around him. They are Kyushu, Chugoku, Kinki, Tokai, Sekigahara, and Omi. Number 59. In the course of playing Nioh, you'll inevitably run into little green guys with bowls for hats, and these beings are called Kodama. Kodama are just looking for a way back to the nearest shrine, so help them on their way, then they'll help you in turn. Number 60. In any stage, you can find a shrine to pray at for a one-time bonus at Amrita. You can level up at shrines, donate items for Amrita and potential bonuses, equip ninja and Onmyo skills, request co-op, change your guardian spirit, and offer money for a blessing from the Kodama. Number 61. One thing that Japan is known for is hot springs, and Nioh's got 'em. Rest up in a hot spring for a free health restoration as well as a short health regen buff. One wonders why the Kodama leave as soon as you're done though. Number 62. Interaction with other players is entirely voluntary, and you can't invade other players' games. You use a cup called an otoko at a shrine in order to summon players into your game, and you volunteer to join games at the Torii shrine. Number 63. While there's no true online PvP yet, players can eventually unlock a hidden tea house in order to engage in a community-based, asynchronous clan battle system. In clan battle, you pledge allegiance under a clan to get passive benefits like stat buffs, and play towards and trade a unique currency called glory for special items. Number 64. Nioh's version of Bloodstains is a bloody grave, a blood-soaked blade sticking out of the ground that explains how another player died at that point of the stage, and you can activate them to summon an AI Revenant to challenge for their gear as a loot drop and earn glory for your clan. Or die, if they're too tough. At least they're voluntary, with one exception. Number 65. While Nekomata is a friendly yokai alongside William, almost every other yokai in the game is out for your blood. No matter the form, whether it's as simple as a reanimated corpse or as massively complex as a Gasha Dokuro, they all share one thing in common. They are the remnant grudges of the dead, weaponized to wipe you out. Number 66. The simplest enemy types are the skeleton warriors and zombie-like dwellers, but by no means can you dismiss them as pushovers. Skeleton warriors can wield the same weapons as you, while dwellers can vomit poisonous fumes to debilitate your health over time. And most frustrating, both dwellers and skeletons can wield projectiles to pester and frustrate, whether they're matchlock guns or arrows, rocks, or even bombs. Respond in kind. Number 67. The one-eyed imp is a fairly harmless yokai. It'll jump around a bunch and occasionally lash out its freakishly long tongue at you. However, once it gets enough energy from you, it grows into a one-eyed oni, and those guys are no joke. Number 68. The kappa, a turtle-like yokai, runs away from you more than anything. Probably has something to do with that gleaming shell on its back, denoting that killing a kappa will get you many riches. Better watch out though. Kappa are as slippery as they are fast, and that massive shell is as deadly as it is enticing. And don't run out of stamina near them, or ooh, that must really hurt. Number 69. Karakasa, the one-eyed, one-legged hopping umbrella yokai, is not to be trifled with. They shoot spikes at you, and they can leap up to zoom right at you with the piercing attack. Unfortunately, you don't have an attack that consists of a blast of wind to flip Karakasa inside out, but most anything else is fair game. Number 70. The yokai known as Biwa Boku Boku is truly unique. The Biwa lute is the actual yokai, while the monk is an apparition to distract players. While by itself the yokai isn't able to attack you, the music that it plays can actually activate bloody graves that you get too close to, summoning revenants to fight and potentially getting overwhelmed and killed. If you hear a lute being played nearby and see loads of bloody graves, proceed with caution. Number 71. The sentry is an implacable foe, a sword-wielding statue come to life. Sure, it moves slowly, but having a supremely strong sword swing makes up for its conservation of locomotive energy. Just pace yourself and make sure to back away from attacking when they're about to retaliate. Number 72. The Onibi, literally demon fire, is a yokai of pure elemental energy in the form of a floating Oni head. These things are more frustrating than anything else, and multiple Onibi at once can irritate players with their staggered energy fire and haphazard bashing. If you defeat these enemies in close combat, however, their energy will transfer to your weapon for essentially a free boost. Number 73. Picture this. A yokai in the shape of a woman who is wrapped by a long bolt of cotton that has been weaponized for short and long distance attacks and can slow down its prey before going in for the kill. What's their name? Flying Bolt. Straightforward, huh? Number 74. The Yoki are the first of the advanced yokai enemies that you face, as they are humans that were mutated drastically with the use of Amrita. They're either wielding a sword, a big axe, or even two swords. The later forms of Yoki are overloaded with Amrita to the point where they can explode, so watch out. Number 75. The Wheel Monk is a big evil face bound to an ox cart wheel by its own hair, and it breathes fire. Oh, and wherever it goes, it also leaves a trail of fire in its wake. take care not to get run down by this road rager and kick this tire where it really hurts. Literally. Number 76. The one-eyed Oni is tough enough to be its own fact. It can lumber around and seem dopish, but it has ferocious power in its punches to overcompensate its limited range. Plus, it likes to jump up and flatten you under its belly. But you know what they say about the bigger yokai is, that one eye really sticks out too. Number 77. The Onyudo is probably one of the most frustrating advanced yokai that you will meet. These disgraced monks who betrayed their faith gave in to their worldly desires, and their wrath is matched by the sheer amount of death they can deal out in swift fashion. Watch out for Onyudo's literal tongue lashing, as well as its brutal forward charge. Oh, but it's so satisfying to watch Onyudo clench its head in pain when they run into a wall. Plus, they're completely open, so counterattack! Number 78. Okay, no, the Tengu is the real most frustrating advanced yokai that you'll fight. They fly, they have shockwaves, a swooping grapple, and 2 sweeping melee hits that can take loads of health from you. You'd better hope that you don't face 2 of these guys at once because Number 79. Your first boss fight in Japan is with an Onryoki, a twisted giant of an Oni, born from the suffering of the dead. It's big and fast, with 2 giant wrecking balls that it can whip on its chains, or just throw at you like a set of giant boulders. There's no better enemy to be introduced to the upcoming challenges of Nioh. Number 80. One of the bosses is Umibozu, or Sea Monk, named for how the round top of this obelisk of water resembles the shaved head of a Buddhist monk. Umibozu attacks the ship that William and his compatriots are on in the course of their journey through Japan, and his boss encounter involves dangerous tendrils of water, a powerful wave that can kill with one hit, and even mini Umibozus. Number 81. What is it with ninja and giant toads? Whatever the case is, get ready to face off with the pipe-smoking, spear-wielding, bomb and shuriken-throwing ninja of a giant toad. It's even capable of human speech. Ninja toads, cat clocks, man, ninja are rad. Number 82. Are you an arachnophobe? If so, too bad. Giant spiders aren't only on the menu as yokai enemies, you've also got Jorogumo, the fearsome, gigantic yokai fusion of a spider with a demon woman sticking out where its head should be. Oh dear, but man, that big glowing abdomen sure looks like a great weak spot to attack for massive damage. Number 83. I hope you don't have a thing against a giant centipede too, because Nioh has one with a giant demon skull for a face, and each part of its body can emit poison. Use the terrain to your advantage to attack from above. Number 84. Hino Enma is a yokai shaped like a seductive woman who— faces aren't supposed to open up like that! Anyway, Hino Enma entraps men to kill them by drinking their blood, and this vampiric attack can drain William's health to replenish Hino Enma's own life. Watch out for their stunning moves too. Pro tip, keep anti-paralysis needles in your shortcut inventory. Number 85. The Nue, a Japanese lightning yokai, is a chimera mix of monkey face, tiger body, and a snake as a tail. This fight is a massive challenge that can frustrate you if you don't master stamina use and dodging, which kind of works because the first Nue fight is actually a test of sorts by Fuku. Get ready to pass, because as far as Nioh is concerned, failure is not an option. Number 86. The Ogress is as vicious as it is terrifying to behold, with its demon mask visage, long horns, unkempt hair, razor-sharp super long fingernails that double as claws, and an unexpected swiftness in its step that's only matched by the height that it can achieve with its jumps. You'd better hope that you don't get caught in the deadly ogress's clutches. Number 87. The chilling yokai woman, Yuki Onna, or Snow Woman, is a fearsome 1-to-1 boss fight. Get ready for icicle projectiles, area of effect ice attacks, and for Yuki Onna to wield her ice naginata with deadly proficiency. While Yuki Onna were traditionally told in folklore to meet snowy mountain travelers at their doom, this one's choice for a home gives a hint to her true identity. Number 88. The gargantuan Gasha Dokuro, literally meaning starving skeleton, is a golem of skeletons from the dead who didn't receive funeral rites and converged into this titanic fiend. I won't spoil how you take this guy out because it's quite something. I'll just leave you with this. You can't fight it alone. Number 89. Not all opposing yokai are instantly out for blood. The Mujina yokai, like the tanuki from Japanese folklore, love to shapeshift. And what better thing to shapeshift into in a video game than a treasure chest? Shortly after, it morphs into a mimic of William himself. But take care to emote carefully back at the Mujina, or else you've got a tough fight with yourself. Number 90. The Nurikabe, a living wall, is another of the yokai who can be neutralized without combat. If you make the right type of emote at it, it will allow you safe passage. You only get 2 shots though, and there are 3 types of emotes, so try not to get flattened, literally. Number 91. Not all boss fights are fought with enemy yokai. After all, with the history of Japan in the Warring States era, how could Team Ninja resist the call to include samurai legends like Tadakatsu Honda and Tachibana Muneshige? The fights can happen in a story mission, but the best fights are 1-to-1, whether in a dojo or in a field at sundown. Number 92. Need an even harder time through Nioh? Try your hand at one of the Twilight missions, a remixed version of a previous stage that you've played before, with higher difficulty but even better drops than normal. Twilight missions change every night, so check the rotation for missions that you haven't dared to take on yet. Number 93. After almost a decade of silence since the original announcement, Nioh's re-emergence to the public as a new exclusive game for PlayStation 4 happened in Tokyo Game Show 2015. Number 94. In spring of 2016, Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja actually released an alpha demo for players to try out Nioh's combat and mission structure and submit feedback. Players who completed the alpha demo also got unique DLC for the final game, in this case the Onryoki helmet for defeating that yokai. Number 95. The alpha demo got 850,000 downloads, and that led to lots of feedback that Team Ninja took to heart. For example, players expressed the need for a tutorial system, which I mentioned before in the dojo, and complaints about weapon and armor durability, and those must have been really effective because that's not in the final game at all. Who says developers don't listen to their fans? Number 96. In the summer of 2016, the Nioh beta demo was released. This time, players could explore a new mission, get in depth with the tutorial, and play with an AI buddy. The exclusive download item this time was the Hino Enma helmet, themed after the featured boss. Number 97. For people who missed the alpha and beta demos, developers behind Nioh released a last chance trial for the weekend of January 21st, 2017. This trial featured the Ogress, and not only offered the Ogress headgear, but it was also a last chance to qualify for the Onryoki and Hino Enma helmet DLC items. Number 98. If you like your games to look cinematic, then Nioh has a movie mode setting to lock the frame rate at 30 frames per second. For game players who want nothing less than 60 frames, action mode is for you. PS4 Pro users can get both settings at 1080p HD resolution, and PS4 Pro 4K TV players can get that movie mode all the way up to 4K resolution. Number 99. While Nioh didn't get a companion movie, it does have a companion manga. The title is Nioh, the Golden Samurai, and this adaptation is drawn by Katayama Yosuke. It started serialization in Shonen Magazine on May 9th, 2016. It's still going too. Number 100. That amazing movie poster caliber cover art for Nioh is the work of Koji Tajima, a concept artist and digital sculptor by trade. His most recent mass market work was concept art for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, another big story with magical beings. Number 101. How successful was Nioh's release? How does sold out all across Japan sound to you? Team Ninja actually had to issue a statement on social media that the download version is still available at a discount while they work on replenishing stock. Number 102. Oh, you want actual sales numbers? Well, as of late February, Nioh sold through 1 million copies, both digital and physical, to customers worldwide. These aren't collecting dust in a stockroom somewhere. To thank players for their support, Koei Tecmo released a golden Nioh armor set for free to commemorate the success of the game, not even a month after the game's release. Number 103. Nioh has a digital deluxe edition on the PlayStation Store. It includes the game, the season pass for 3 upcoming chapters, 5 unique weapons, and a PSN avatar set, so people know that you really love your Nioh. Number 104. Pre-orders for Nioh got you 2 different armor sets. The Nioh armor set is based on the Nioh statues that guard Buddhist temples across Japan, and the Crimson Master armor set is actually based on Yukimura Sanada, the legendary samurai. Number 105. The Season Pass's first expanded chapter, The Dragon of the North, is slated for late April of 2017. It will have new yokai, new weapons, new guardian spirits, new stages, and feature the one-eyed dragon himself, Date Masamune. Number 106. If you're still not confident in the quality of Nioh's paid expanded content, don't worry, because Nioh's also getting free updates. The late March update includes high difficulty missions with 10 varieties, some of which will feel like boss rushes, and that sounds way harder than a Twilight mission. And number 107. Meanwhile, April's free update will implement player versus player. Oh dear, I'm not ready for my game to be invaded by enemy Williams while I'm fighting 3 Tengus at once. Once again, I'm Joey, and thanks for watching 107 Facts about Nioh. Have you played yet? What part is your favorite? Comment below and let us know. We have new videos dropping every week, so let us know what game you want us to cover next. And if you like getting more from your games, subscribe to The Leaderboard, where we help you game smarter.